PBS launched its first children's series featuring central characters that are on the autism spectrum. Carl the Collector follows a raccoon named Carl who has autism and his friends in their home of Fuzzy Town, where they live, how to understand themselves and each other. Here's a clip from the show of Carl explaining autism.
You see, my brain works differently than some kids. I'm really great at remembering facts about my collections and birthdays. But sometimes it takes me longer to understand what others are thinking and feeling about stuff, and what to do in these situations. This is because I'm autistic. Autistic.
And joining us now is the show's creator and executive producer, Zachariah O'Hora, as well as director Lisa Wittick. Thanks to both of you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Fascinating to take a look at how this show came together. And Zachariah, first, if you could tell us about Carl's unique characteristics and how this all came to be.
Yeah, well, I'm obsessed with raccoons, and I'm a collector myself, so Carl the Collector is kind of a lot of me in some ways. And when I first came up with the idea of Carl, my kids were just starting school, and they go to an inclusion school, which was a new concept for me. And basically, the idea of an inclusion school is that no matter what your needs are, every kid in the district should have the same amount of class time and teacher time, and especially socialization with other kids. And as a result of that, I saw that they were friends with everybody, no matter what their needs were. And it was a real light bulb moment for me that this is the way it should be. You know, like full exposure to the full, spectrum of humanity is it's going to benefit neurodiverse kids and neurotypical kids.
And Zachariah, were there challenges in getting a show like this off the ground?
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, I've never done a television show before, so there's that. But we also wanted to make sure that this was right. PBS really cares about authentic representation. So we want to make sure that, throughout the entire production, we have autistic people, neurodiverse people, and we don't want to tell someone else's story. We want someone to tell their own story. And so that takes time.
And Lisa, you have a son that has autism. He's now an adult. For you as a director, though, did you feel like you were able to portray some of your personal experience in this?
Yeah, absolutely. So my son, like you mentioned, he's an adult now, but he's, he has some physical stimming and things that we definitely put into Carl to get him to show his autism visually for the audience. Autism is a very abstract concept for people who either don't experience it themselves or don't have family or friends who are autistic. And so we really had to work hard behind the scenes to come up with visual ways to explain autism to the audience. And I definitely drew on a lot of my own personal experiences with my son and his autistic peers. And we put a lot of those things into the characters.
And Zachariah, why was it important to build a production team for the show that's also neurodiverse? And what is that creative environment like?
Well, I mean, it's great because, everyone's bringing their own stories, from their life. And, if you want authentic representation, you want to hear from the person that you're representing. And if it's a true story, if it's something real that comes from someone's life, it comes from the heart, that comes through in the show. And I think it really comes through in Carl the Collector.
And Lisa, I wonder from your perspective, what's been the reaction from people in the autism community?
So far, it's been nothing but absolutely so positive and so excited. If I had had a show like this when my son was growing up, it would have been a game changer for us as a family. When he was diagnosed later in life, he was about 12 when he was diagnosed, and we definitely would have had a few clues leading up to his diagnosis if this show was out at the time. But we've included a lot of families of autistic children in the show as well. Our voice actor for Carl is a boy named Kai, who we found at a parent support group that I belong to for autistic parents of autistic children. And we have another character named Lotta on the show, and she's a little fox who's autistic as well. And we found her through the same group. And even now, we're still pulling voices out of that pool of auditions that we got from the support group to give to our incidental characters as well. So it's like, it feels like a real community effort. It's great.
I also have a family member who was diagnosed much later in life, and I know a program like this would have been so great for not only him but our entire family. So congratulations on what you're doing. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right.